Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Welcome back to Hailmas, everybody. I will be posting every weekday leading up to Christmas Day. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for tuning in and supporting this channel the way you do. And I wanted to do a giveaway a little bit better than last year because I want to give away more to more people. So for my OG subscribers and Hailmas watchers, I will be doing a daily cash giveaway of $100 a day. The rules are quite simple. First, you just have to subscribe and follow along every day. Second, you have to follow my Instagram at Hailey Gamba. And lastly, just like and comment under this video and every video of Hailmas, and I will pick a new winner every single day and give them a shout out here on Hailmas. Please have PayPal, Zelle, or Cash App available to you so that I can send you guys the money every day. Happy holidays, everyone. Today's giveaway winner is Rachel Allrays. Thank you so much, Rachel, for subscribing and being a part of the giveaway. If you guys want to win a giveaway, make sure you guys comment down below and check back tomorrow to see if you won. Thanks, everyone. We are resuming Hailmas. I know I was gone for 2 days. So sorry. My computer just could not handle the footage, the craziness. I really needed to figure out a new method, so I had to get an external hard drive. It also was so gloomy here in Jersey that I said, while that's all going on, rather than me filming in my filming room and preparing, I'd rather just wait for the sun to come back and do other things, like plan other content ideas for the remainder of the week. The sun is back. I am happier than ever. I'm in a beautiful Christmas dress. This particular video is something that I think a lot of you ladies are gonna love, and it's all about the guide to becoming calm if you are a passionate woman. I find this subject to be something that really resonates with my own life and has been the most difficult thing for me. As someone who's passionate, loving, and really feels things deeply, it can be a double-edged sword because essentially you're someone who loves hard, feels hard, and it also helps you become more artistic. You can have a lot of amazing relationships because of it because you're a little bit more extroverted at times. You tend to have a specific vernacular that just draws in a certain type of person, or at least that's from my experience. That being said, the double-edged sword is still very present, and when you're passionate, you tend to have rage, anger. You can't control your emotions well. You maybe have a little bit of bitterness within you or resentment. You live in the past. There's a lot of different things that are within us that are negative, or I should say that they're just things that we need to work on to actually live a quality life. The reason that this particular topic is so important is because it's all about how to create peace in your own life. I had such a short fuse growing up, and I was just a very sensitive child. I found that people would misunderstand me or would make fun of me or would not accept me. And these were in crucial years of my life where I needed to feel desired. I needed to feel validated because I didn't know myself yet. So what it did was it created an interesting version of myself. When I started to get older and I wasn't as good at hiding my authentic self and I wasn't as good at controlling my emotions, it actually ended up hurting me more because I was living in a state of defeat. I felt like I didn't want to be a fake version of myself, but I also hated feeling things. I hated feeling like I could never embody someone who was nonchalant or stoic. It just wasn't possible for me. So what I should do is be who I am and learn how to manage myself better and learn how to be someone that I'm proud of. I'm going to share with you guys today. I want to give you guys a perspective on some things that will highlight beauty in your passion. And I think that finding some sort of middle ground where you don't hurt others, but you still honor your own feelings. You also have integrity and strength. You're able to identify and embrace your authentic self. You align with people who light you up, and you live a happier life overall. So we're going to discuss all of that today. Now, you guys know I have my notes, and the notes are long today. The first thing that I think is really important in being able to create calmness and peace in your life as a person who's passionate and feels things deeply is you need to start embracing yourself through vulnerability and authenticity. I think what I learned throughout the years is the best secret to true happiness is embracing who I am, even the parts of me that I didn't always like, and making them work for me. I think that when I go back in time and I realize all of the places in my life where I've fallen short or I've messed up or I said something that I shouldn't, I realize that I also was fighting with a person that chose to misunderstand me from the beginning, who chose to not see me from the very beginning, rather than aligning with people who truly accept me. Because the truth is, a lot of the times when we fly off the handle, when we have a rageful episode, it's either because we don't feel like we're being heard, or we don't know how to manage the things that we felt throughout our life, and we don't know how to channel it properly. So I think that the biggest thing that I had to do to actually be able to tame the beast within was to accept her in the first place. I now know that being passionate is who I am. So I think that what I really have enjoyed about accepting versions of myself that aren't always the most favorable is realizing that if you accept these things, then nobody else can hurt you with those things because you already know they exist. You already know that they're there. Being self-aware and being self-actualized allows you to get ahead of what other people's agendas are with you or what other people's perception is of you. And you also are able to know that you can't fix how other people feel, how other people take to you. You can only embrace who you are and align with people who do accept it and who do understand it. Being your truest self and having people in your life that can see it too allows you to have hard conversations and be a little bit more vulnerable with the people you care about. It has really helped me with my friendships, my relationships, even in work and in life. I found that when I was showing up authentically and embracing myself fully, it allowed me to get ahead of my own insecurities or lack thereof. I found that the more that I accepted it and the more that I understood it, the less hard it was to deal with and the less it was even present. And people are like mirrors. They show us where we fall short or what we do to others. Where we are feeling misunderstood, we tend to also misunderstand people as well. And I found that the more I embraced who I was, the more authentic I was, the less that people were able to tell me about myself, the less that people were able to trigger me or get a heightened emotion out of me. You definitely need to work on your identity issues, the parts of you that you're choosing to not see, or the unconscious patterns that you have in your life. You really need to do the shadow work, speak to a therapist or a life coach, and try to uncover some of these things so you know where this is coming from so that you can strategize better in your life. There is nothing wrong with being someone who feels rage or feels passion or has a deep emotion or cries or gets angry. I just think that you need to know yourself well enough to know where it comes up in your life. So embracing your vulnerabilities and your authenticity will allow you to identify where this is coming from. I wrote down some of the things that heightened emotions in me throughout my life. When I go against my own word, that will make me emotional because if somebody shows me that I did that, I now become emotional because I'm mad at myself. Or if I put too much trust in others, that's another thing that will get a heightened emotion out of me. When I love, when I work, when I'm experiencing some sort of life shift, whether it's a move or I am losing weight or I'm on a health journey, whatever it is, whenever I'm experiencing a life shift, I notice that my emotions definitely are dysregulated. When I'm having a fight with someone who's choosing to disagree with me, no matter what, there's a lot of things that will trigger us. There's a lot of things that will create this feeling, but you need to know where they're coming from so that you know how to tame it. Okay, number 2 for being able to calm yourself down as a passionate person is take responsibility for where you put your energy. It's time to acknowledge the things that heighten your inability to emotionally regulate. You need to know where you are choosing to put your time and energy into so that you can better understand how that affects how you live. If you are in living conditions that are causing you to feel anxiety or anger or pain, it's really difficult to be able to keep those feelings at bay. If you're in a relationship with someone who is creating an uncomfortable, anxious, angry feeling within you, again, you're going to struggle to be able to regulate those emotions no matter what you do. Ignoring it only puts a band-aid over it, but it doesn't actually fix what's going on. If you listen to my podcast that I made this week, I discussed my own personal journey in a situationship that I was struggling with because I really enjoyed the person, but the energy surrounding the relationship at hand was causing me to have insecure feelings, was causing me to be anxious, was causing me to feel like I didn't deserve good things. That is something that I have to identify early on or right when it comes up so that I know how to remove myself from the equation. I think that we as people tend to allow ourselves to suffer and struggle for too long. We allow ourselves to be in situations that cause us to feel pain, anxiety, rather than removing ourselves and working on that so that we can align with people who actually give our energy a breath of fresh air. And what I really want to help you understand when it pertains to energy and how it flows and what it's doing to our life is the conflicting feelings that you have when you enjoy someone, you like someone, you maybe enjoy their company or find them to be fascinating or interesting or attractive, whatever it is, and that brings you some sort of joy. But if it's at your expense or it allows you to ignore your own values, standards, and boundaries, it's going to cause you to have some sort of either unconscious or conscious pain and suffering. These connections aren't good for you. Take responsibility for where you are putting your time and also take responsibility for your choices based on your past, your perception, and your toxic patterns. We tend to do things based off of a pattern in our life. So me constantly making the excuse that, oh, well, I just liked that person. I enjoyed their company. I liked them as an individual. That is an unconscious pattern that was happening in my life because I was ignoring that I still needed to be respected and heard and cared about in that connection. And I wasn't able to create that separation. And that was conflicting with my energy. So although for a while you can be able to minimize your feelings or hide your emotions, eventually you're gonna blow when you are around people who don't allow you to be your full self and don't accept you to be your full self. And that's going to make you have a more outlandish and chaotic reaction rather than just being around people who accept you, understand you, and who align with your personal boundaries, standards, and morals for your life. And I wrote this down. A toxic pattern of mine has always been overlooking my own best interest for a person who I wanted to earn their affection, love, and admiration. And I had to ask myself, well, where is this coming from? Back into the first point. Parenting. My parenting growing up, although I don't want to get into the logistics of it because I love my parents dearly and they are great people, I had to earn their affection since birth. My parents are not the type of people who are super lovey, they're not super emotional, and they tend to enjoy their kids more when their kid does something for them. So I learned from a very young age that I had to earn affection, earn love, and earn respect. And it forced me to have that same unconscious pattern throughout my life in dating, in friendships, and I would allow myself to put myself to the back burner because that was normal to me. And I think that that's something that we really have to give people grace on. A lot of people get mad at people for being this person. Well, how could you do that to yourself? The truth is, it's because it's all that they know. It's all that they understand. And at times, it really may not bother you at first because you're used to it. It's something that you've been able to understand, and you've gotten really good at suffering. You've gotten really good at minimizing your own feelings. And that is something that you have to stop doing. Not always are we choosing things in our life consciously, but the unconscious parts of us keep welcoming in these experiences that heighten our rage, passion, negativity, anger, sadness, and anxiety. It's important that we free ourselves by looking inward, doing shadow work, building our self-esteem, and validating our own life. You enjoy suffering to some degree if you choose to minimize the things that dysregulate your body. Start noticing where these things come up. Start noticing why they're coming up and how. And then under this energy umbrella, start placing your energy in spaces that bring you joy. It's time for you to start knowing yourself better and pour into hobbies and passions and friendships and relationships that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, that bring you peace, because this will allow you to then not even get as emotionally reactive when you're met with the alternative, because you now know it's possible for me to have a good life, to have a good experience, that I don't need to constantly have an outlandish, triggering experience with people who don't deserve my time, with moments that don't deserve my energy. You just naturally become better at regulating yourself. So start placing your energy in these spaces that make you feel good. Again, stop surrounding yourself with shitty people. Stop working at places that don't spark joy. family. Be the friend, the daughter, the mother, the sister that you'd expect someone else for you to be. It's great to show up in your own life how you want others to show up, because that's usually how you align with it. Start putting yourself first, and then you'll see everyone else around you adhering to that a little bit better. And number 3 for channeling your passions and being able to regulate is to find healthy outlets that allow your emotions to fly high. This kind of goes into what I just said before about having hobbies and things that spark joy in your life, but I really want you guys to understand that bottling up emotions and allowing them to build will only make the explosion greater. So you need to figure out how you can regulate yourself and channel these emotions in other ways, and where certain things are worth reacting to and where things aren't. You need to really do that. And I think that a great way is through trial and error. So let's just say you're the type of person who sends paragraphs when you're mad at someone. I think what a great way to try that out and see if that's something that you actually think is worth it is by sending that paragraph like you tend to do, and then read the paragraph back to yourself 2 weeks later and ask yourself, do you still feel good about what you wrote? Do you still feel good about how that felt, how that was relayed? Or do you now feel like that was silly? You didn't need to do that. It didn't really feel that great. The release wasn't as good as you wanted. That's something I learned. In moments of anger, passion, and emotion, I tend to do things that I would never do had I been regulated. And I now remind myself in the moment by doing internal checks saying, Hailey, you've never felt better doing that. So some random healthy outlets that help me, rather than sending the paragraph, screaming at someone, yelling at this person or whatever, is I figure out how I'm feeling and then I go from there. So if I'm anxious or sad, I will meditate. I will give myself a pep talk. I will watch a positive, happy movie. I will go for a walk, get some fresh air. I take a shower. I listen to positive content. I really love listening to like pastors or just people who are very motivating and constantly will bring God up, because something about God regulates my nervous system immediately. If I'm feeling anger, I will call a trusted friend or maybe text them. I will journal. I will make art. I will listen to a great playlist. I will do my makeup, because there's nothing better than if you are feeling vengeful and angry to just make yourself look beautiful. Like, I don't know, it just really helps me. So I'll do my makeup. I'll speak to my life coach. I think it's important that you learn to let yourself have a moment and then channel that moment through life so it doesn't consume you. The best way to channel it is by having a healthy way to channel your emotions, and then give yourself an expiration date to when that feeling should dissipate. I have found the older I get, the better I get at that. My first breakup that I ever had in my life, I swear to God, it would sit on my spirit for months. I would be not over it for months and months and months, where now I'll go through something, I'll have a little bit of pain and sadness around it, and it will usually leave my body like 24 hours to 48 hours later. And that feels so good. And it means that I'm getting better at my emotional maturity. I'm getting better at my emotional regulation time. I know when to pack away the pain, the suffering, because you know what? I actually like being happy. I actually like not having issues. I actually like sleeping. I actually like living. And I find that when I'm having these emotional triggers and episodes and passionate feelings constantly, it gets in the way of the things that I need to do. It gets in the way of me having a good life. And I do that internal work that acknowledges that says that to myself. What I also found about myself, that when I was trying to force myself to not care or choose not to talk about things, I would end up freaking out or mismanaging my emotions in totality. Align with people who allow you to be your full self, allow you to speak your truth. You learn how to say it in a way where you're saying what you're feeling, but you're learning the delivery and the message needs to stay in a respectful way. And then also learn how to embark on healthy distractions as a way to teach yourself to be more regulated and appropriate. I distract myself with good things when I am feeling not great, rather than sitting there and trying to figure out how I can get this person back, or how I can do this, or how I can do that, or how I can scream at this person or send that paragraph. Healthy distractions will get your mind off of it. And as time goes on and your emotions start to regulate, you're not going to care as much. And the fourth thing that is really going to help you become more calm and have less emotional episodes is to let life work you. Start letting life work you. Let life show you how resilient you are. The reason I am so good at regulating my emotions now is because I've had so many episodes, because I've had so many moments, because I've lived life, had these experiences, had these arguments, had these rageful episodes and learned from them. I know there are people out there that spend their entire life doing the same shit that doesn't work for them. I am not that person. I like when life works for me, because when life works for me, everything's harmonious. My money is flowing. I look amazing. I'm sexy. I'm feeling confident. I have good relationships with my friendships. Me and my family are good. That is what brings me peace. And I like peace over anything else. I like peace over all of those negative feelings that people try to glorify. People love to glorify the feeling of vengeance, or they like to glorify getting back at someone, or making someone hurt, or being someone who likes to have the last word. I no longer glamorize or glorify that. I don't find it to be helpful for my life at all. Yes, I like that I can be witty. I like that I can be smart, but there's a way to channel that where it's not nasty, where it's not mean, where it's not hurting others, where it's not hurting me. Experience yourself being triggered and go about it differently. Go about it differently. This is what life will show you. It will show you that what you're doing that isn't working. And it's time to start doing things that work. Time helps and time heals. As time goes on, you heal easier, you heal faster. You also have a different perspective on people and places and things. You just look at life differently. There was a time where when people would criticize me, I would immediately be defensive and find it to be them misunderstanding me. But what if I change my perspective and realize that that was something that they were struggling with, and that was something that they did not see within, and they were channeling it by hurting others. I no longer allow myself to be personally attacked by people who are a victim to their own reality. I don't want that. And I was a victim to other people's personal victimization. And it makes no sense. You're just constantly repeating the pattern. It's not healthy. Stop stooping and matching energy. It's disgusting. It's not appropriate. Love yourself hard. Start thinking before you speak. Start thinking before you do. And just feel how that feels in the moment. You're going to grow, you're going to expand, you're going to change, you're going to evolve, and you're going to like yourself better. I hope this helped you guys. I think you guys are really going to love these tips. Start using them and implementing them into your life, and let me know how it works for you. I love you guys so much. Let's all be authentic, vulnerable, and passionate together. Bye, everyone. Mwah.